Okay, I'll say, clerk, will you please read ordinance number 862 by title only?
It's the ordinance. Here's the second.
Move on to the next one.
It's got to be there.
Yeah, all right, this last one. Chaos.
We're on.
All right,
We're on, Diane.
Huh?
whenever you're ready.
Well,
You're okay.
for that ordinance, first page.
You're looking for 862?
Yeah, N63.
Yeah.
Don't have them in here.
And I can't help you, and I feel awful, and now
So what do we
we have
do?
to start the meeting.
We're going to start, and you just do your thing?
And what I'm gonna need,
Hey, listen. Okay, so we're okay. All right, we're going to start it up.
I can do it.
Call to order, Prescott Valley regular council meeting, June 13th, 2019. Rabbi Adele, will you please come down? Start us off.
If you're able, please stand, and if you're not, that's okay too. Honorable Mayor, council members and staff, community members and friends. Usually when I read your agenda, I need to dig a bit to find gems for what I hope are encouraging words to you all. Wow, this time there are so many gems to choose from and so little time to mention them. Some are humdrum, gotta get done things, such as optimizing maintenance with budgetary limitations, including maintaining the police parking areas. Others reach out to the public with heartfelt concern and caring. For instance, basic needs are addressed such as food for children on summer break, transit vouchers for the needy, and senior living with access to needed amenities. Yet even that is not complete, apparently, in your eyes, as you also are supporting arts education and culture for the public, such as with a summer concert series. You are to be lauded for these efforts. Hence, we pray that you will have the clarity of vision and compassion to continue in this wide array of services to the public with wisdom, strength, and cooperative efforts in order to protect the best interests of the people, the environment, flora and fauna, and I suppose the mostly paid for statues as well. May you also not shirk from making hard choices when needed so that our community can be safe and secure. In affirmation of these fervent prayers, let each of us now, in his or her own way, agree as we say, so may it be.
So may it be.
Thank you, ma'am. Start us off on the pledge.
There it is. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please call roll.
Mayor Palguda,
Present.
Vice Mayor Nye. Here. Councilmember Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Grossman.
Here.
Councilmember Mallory.
Here.
Councilmember Schumacher.
Here.
And Councilmember Packard.
Present.
We have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Move on to item 5, scheduled announcements and presentations. Mr. Ed Bantel, come on down.
Go ahead, go. Mayor and Council, for those of you who have not met Ed Bantel, he is our program administrator from the Arizona Municipal Risk Retention Pool. Basically, our insurance pool. He is our program administrator. He is the man that takes care of us.
Thank you very much. My name is Ed Bantel. I'm the program administrator for the Arizona Municipal Risk Retention Pool, and we provide property casualty insurance to Prescott Valley, as well as workers' compensation. And you've been members really for a long time. The pool has been doing very, very well, and one of the big advantages of being a member of the pool is you are owners in the pool. You are basically stockholders. And because the pool has been doing well, we issued a dividend last year, but we issued a larger dividend again this year. And so I am here today to present you with your check for your dividend for this year. And the check is in the amount of $361,674.10.
He'll put your hand in his back pocket.
This is yours.
It is negotiable. Well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you for letting me come.
Thank you.
Can
Thank
I
you
take a
very
picture?
much.
Can I take a picture of it and deposit it in my checking account?
Next up will be a presentation for Quilt of Valor, Alan Graham.
Oh, no, he's coming.
Okay.
We'll invite him up. How's that? Okay. Who else is coming? Okay. Thank you.
Good, thank you. I know you always carry this.
Thank you for the warm welcome, and thank you for allowing us to present a Quilt of Valor to a military veteran member of our community. The quilters here with me today represent Arizona Freedom Quilts, Prescott, a chapter of Quilts of Valor. My name is Ruth. Chris, Nancy, and Carol is right there. Okay. Please allow me to tell you a little bit about Quilts of Valor. May I turn and address? Thank you. Okay. Quilts of Valor. Whoops. Let me go over here. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Quilts of Valor started with a dream by the founder, Catherine Roberts, in 2003. At the time, her son was deployed in Iraq. She envisioned a young man sitting on the side of his bed in the middle of the night, hunched over. She could see his feelings of despair. Then, like in a movie, she saw him wrapped up in a quilt. His demeanor changed from one of despair to one of hope and well-being. The message in her dream was quilts equal healing. Quilters from all over the United States, Alaska and Hawaii, and even Canada worked daily to make Quilts of Valor to cover our soldiers and military veterans. The first Quilt of Valor was awarded in November 2003 at the Walter Reed Army Medical Center to a young soldier who had lost his leg in Iraq. Chaplain John Kellerson saw the value of awarding quilts to wounded soldiers because the message that they carried is someone cares. In the early days of the Quilts of Valor, the focus of awarding quilts was to veterans or soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan. Today, the mission of Quilts of Valor is to cover all combat service members and veterans touched by war with comforting and healing Quilts of Valor. We have to date awarded over 220,650 quilts nationwide. Alan, would you like to come up here? You're welcome. Tonight we honor you, Alan Graham, who served in the United States Navy. I have to turn around here. From 1965 to 1969. Alan served in Vietnam from 1967 to 68. He was a river rat on the Mekong Delta. He was a machine gunner on a riverboat with the name the Mobile Riverine Task Force 117. They cleared the rivers for the troops to land and also fought with the troops when needed. He was also in Saigon during the Tet Offense and received a letter of recommendation from General C. Westmoreland. Mr. Graham today continues to serve his community and is presently a volunteer with the Prescott Valley Police Department. All right. This is Mr. Graham's quilt, and on the very back, we always have a label, and this is what it says. First thing is welcome home, because we all know the Vietnam vets weren't welcomed home. And it says, this quilt is a gift of thanks for all you have done to defend and protect the United States of America. Like you, it symbolizes the best of what our country stands for and hopefully expresses the overwhelming feelings of pride, respect, and gratitude for all your service. Please let it comfort you and your family always. Thank you.
First off, I'd like to say thank you to these lovely ladies for what they've done. And I'd like to thank Nancy Hall because she was the sponsor behind this. I'd like to thank Nancy Hall because she was the sponsor behind this. Thank you very much, Nancy. And up until about 4 weeks ago, I never knew anything about this Quilt of Valor. And it was told on me, kind of sprung on me all of a sudden. And this is much better than any medals I ever received. And it will be greatly appreciated, believe me. Right now, you see that I'm on oxygen, and that was caused by being exposed to Agent Orange in Vietnam. And it's caused me to have interstitial lung fibrosis. The veterans of Prescott here at the VA is setting me up so I can have a heart and lung transplant for this. So in my recovery hours, I'll be using this quite a bit. So I'm very proud to get it, and that's one of the most beautiful quilts I've ever seen. And I thank you again, ladies. Thank you very much.
Next up, item C is a presentation by Larry Tarkowski for one of Prescott Valley's finest employees, Mr. Ryan Judy. If you would just come on down here.
Ryan, if you could come on down.
I'm sure he's here because I'm staring right at him.
And Mr. Mayor, if I ask Mr. Ed Bantel to come back up, do you think he'd bring us another check? He'll take it. Ryan's coming up, and it's against his better judgment. He wanted to receive his 15 years worth of service plaque and keep it quiet, but quite frankly, he knows better than that. And the reason for this is that Ryan has served the community 15 years, and how many kids ago? A bunch, and has done it admirably. And I know that his efforts have touched the lives of many people in this community, and he has been an outstanding employee for the town. And in his spare time, he does a goodly number of things for the town, and you could ask Mary Mallory about his efforts with the healing fields. In addition to that, his faith-based work is huge and touches the lives of many. So with that, Ryan, thank you very much for 15 years.
Thank you. I'll take care of that check if you want me to. You want me to take care of that check for you?
No. Okay. Mary, do you want to say something?
Ryan.
Hang on.
Ryan, there's something I need to say.
Where's Leah? Is Leah here?
No.
It's her 15-year anniversary, too, so you better get her next time.
You know, Ryan has been right next to me, along with a lot of other people in this town government, in helping put this healing field together. To what you experience, this will be our 8th year. And it is a very amazing event. But Ryan, this year, as many of you have visited that field, you know that we have bios on every flag that tells you about those people. But this year, when you walk that field, you will see pictures, because Ryan has found every picture of every person that was lost in the 9/11. So please remember this year, when you walk that field, that the field is of love from this whole community. And I thank you, Ryan, so much.
You know, I've traveled to and from the League of Cities with Ryan, and
I'm sorry.
yeah, I know. And we've done, and Ryan has done so many different things for the town, and he does it behind the scenes, doesn't want the recognition or the attention. All the CDBG funds that we have been getting over the past years, which has to be millions, Ryan is the one that's been behind it. So he's, again, one of these unsung heroes that we have within our community, who goes above and beyond every day, does his job, does it excellently, and well-deserved. 15 years, that's just a good start. So we hope to get a lot more out of you, and thank you for all you've done and all you will continue to do. Thank you.
Yeah, I will. Well, I wasn't going to say anything. Trying to follow Mary is impossible. But I want to thank you as well, Ryan. You've supported the council every year that you've been here, at least the last 10 years that I've been here, and I appreciate that. You've always provided us with the information that we needed. You've provided with Larry with all the information he needed to make him look smart. And I know the town appreciates that.
He does a good job of that.
You know, I know he should appreciate it anyway, but you've done a great job. And we continue to appreciate all the hard work that you do and all the time that you put in. So thank you very much, Ryan. Thank you.
Ryan, we're the class of 02 for the Citizens Academy. This man's a Citizens Academy guy. He does amazing work. It's how do you function without somebody like a Ryan around? It's great. I'm glad you're with us. I'm expecting at least another 10 years. So
20.
Congrats. 20? Okay, I'm sorry, 20. I stand corrected. 20 years.
I just wanted to say the same thing, that when I got started, I had applied for the Citizens Academy as well. And the thank you, or the acknowledgement letter of saying that you're in when you get to come to the Citizens Academy had so much humor in it. And I thought, wow, it's so nice to see that as a town council and that the town managers can have such a sense of humor and make everybody feel so welcome. So I just want to say thank you for that, because your personality does shine through, and it makes it even more fun to come to everything we get to do. Thank you.
No.
Now you're in for it.
Well, I have a confession to make, Ryan. I preceded you. I was very well entrenched here. And I was very close to the young man you replaced. And I was heartbroken when he left, because he was making a difference for me every week. Ryan, you superseded everything that young man contributed. All the personal things you've helped me with, all of the community things. I would never be able to count them because they're too numerous. You're a blessing to this town, to this community, to your family. And it better be 20 more years.
You're almost done, Ryan. Before I got here, we were just talking in your office, and he was actually working on the 9/11 flags and planning it out, 3 months before, and it just shows what a constant professional you are. Every single day you do something to make a difference, and for that I thank you. No, one more picture and we're done.
I can. This one I'll photobomb.
Now, item D, which a lot of the folks here have been waiting for. Chief, you want to come on down?
Okay, Brian, it's hard to find words to go ahead and thank somebody for 5.5, almost 6 years of dedication to a community, dedication to a team, meaning the police force. And you've done that, and for that, I want to thank you very much. A couple of points, and then we're going to open it up to some of your peers and friends that want to say a word or two. And maybe smile. They're good words, I suspect. But number one, being a police chief is not a popularity contest. It is about protecting the community. And you have done an outstanding job of raising the bar in this community and for your profession and for this team. That's what you were hired for, to bring your experience from a larger community, and you have accomplished that. And if you don't believe my words, then go ahead and take the words of the organization that ranked Prescott Valley as the safest community in northern Arizona. Okay, and I know that you don't like taking credit for that, and there's some reasons not to, but you helped lead the team that caused that to happen. And for that, thank you very much. The second thing is that you have done an outstanding job with your team and making it a priority for your team to connect better with the community. And you came from a place where the police departments were not necessarily well connected to their communities, and there was a great deal of suspicion and antagonism. Not in Prescott Valley. And I know that you and I were at a public meeting about a month ago, and it had been announced that you were leaving to go back to Michigan. Michigan's gain, Arizona's loss, quite frankly. But I hope you enjoy the weather when you're back there. Have at it. But nevertheless, you have established a number of things in the community that have made our police department connected in ways that have never existed before. And so for that, I thank you very much. And at that public meeting, I had the opportunity to see all these people come up to you and express their regret that you were leaving us and going back to Michigan. And these were all community members, and these were all unsolicited comments from folk. And you really did connect well. So, Brian, I thank you very much for your 5.5 years, and I know that there's some people that would like to make a comment. Come on, Dick.
There's got to be a couple people out here. Chief?
Mayor and Council, my name is Gerald Monahan. I have the privilege of serving as the police chief of Yavapai College Police Department. Prior to that, I was the chief in Prescott, and that's where I had the opportunity to begin working with Chief Jarrell. On behalf of the men and women of the Yavapai College Police Department, this is an opportunity to wish you well formally and offer our goodbyes. But one of the comments I'd like to make about his connection here in Arizona, and I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of leaders. I've got 41 years in public safety, and I know what you're all thinking. That young man has 41 years? Brian Jarrell's, the leadership that he brought And Larry, you stole some of my thunder with your comments, so I'll just echo some of what you were offering. The initiatives, the ability to connect to a community. Chief Jarrell is second to none in what he brought to not only Prescott Valley, but to Yavapai County. He gave voice where maybe the criminal justice system sometimes throws up barriers. And Chief Jarrell brought voice to a community to connect in ways. And you know, one of the things about the Prescott Valley Police Department and their professionalism and their understanding of due process and the constitutional mandates and the rights of defendants. The other side of that coin is Chief Jarrell's sensitivity to the needs of victims and the impact that violent crime has on victims. And the men and women of the Prescott Valley Police Department administer that sensitivity as good as any in our state and in our nation. And for that, I'm very grateful. Thank you, Brian, for your willingness to support campaigns that raise the bar for how we treat victims, and always jumped in to be a part of that and led the way. And you will be sorely missed for that. But, you know, you've left a police department that clearly is the example of that. Shelley and I wish you and Tina the very best, and we will certainly miss you, and it's been a real pleasure.
Mayor and members of council, my name is Debbie Black. I'm the police chief in Prescott. I've been here just about 3 years, and while I don't have 41 years of experience like Chief Monahan, I have 39 years, and I know a good police chief when I see one. Brian Jarrell has done so much for the region. He's done a lot for me individually as a neighbor peer. He helped me settle in here when I moved from the valley to wonderful central Arizona. But where I really enjoyed working with Brian was in our collaborative efforts for the NARDA, for the Northern Arizona Regional Training Academy, for PANT, and then on an outside of work basis, we served together on the Boys and Girls Club Board of Directors for several years. I will miss you as a colleague, but more as a friend. We wish you and Tina the absolute best. I did bring a gift from the men and women of the Prescott Police Department. It's a little bit hard to open, but you decide what to put in there. Okay.
Thank you. Scott Masher, Yavapai County Sheriff. This day and age, it's very difficult in law enforcement. I think we see that nationally all across the country. And even more so as an executive in law enforcement, the criminal justice system. And I can tell you as sheriff, some of the natural disasters we've had with fires and things like that. I've come here before the board thanking you for your assistance with the city. And that was possible because of the chief here, who I would never have to call and ask. He would call me and make officers available to assist. This last big fire we had over here, we evacuated thousands, and you can just imagine the traffic control and the chaos in dealing with those kind of situations. So I know Brian is a true professional. It was a very good relationship that the sheriff's office has had with Prescott Valley because of him, because of his staff and his professional leadership. I'm going to miss him. We also developed a friendship. And I wish you the best luck with you and your wife, Tina. I know that to be successful, you got to surround yourself with someone good, and he has, and an outstanding wife there. So, Tina, to you too, God bless. I wish you the best, and we're going to miss you.
No, Chief, the flowers are not for you. About 5.5 years ago, when Chief Jarrell came to Prescott Valley, he started the night off when it was turned over from my interim chief of police to his tenure as chief with a gift from him to my wife. So,
That's fine.
Sheriff Masher said it well, but I'll echo his comment and maybe just add a little bit about our family. Knowing Tina and Brian on a professional and a personal level, I can tell you that she does an incredible job supporting him and being involved in this community. So Tina, thank you for your friendship, for your support to Brian and our department, and the many contributions that I know and we know you've made to this community. You've been a true friend to me, Sarah, and to our family. Brian, under your leadership, there have been many achievements to be celebrated. Quite a list, so I'm going to read directly from it. Safety equipment, staff recognition and development, fleet improvements, technology, recruitment, and the full implementation of community-based policing. As a result of these efforts, the incredible people we have working for us in Prescott Valley, volunteering for us, and our wonderful residents, we are the safest community in northern Arizona and the 11th safest in the state. That is a heck of an accomplishment. So thank you for your mentorship, your compassion, and for being my friend.
Chief, we'll give you the last word. You seem to be getting gifts, and we'll go off on some more of this. So you're also being presented with a nice watch. I don't even know what this thing is called, but it's nice, and I'll just read from it. It says, as you retire, the mayor, town council, and staff honor and commend you for your years of dedication to the citizens of Prescott Valley and wish you success as you begin your next great adventure. Congratulations on your retirement. And then there's a quote, service is the very purpose of life. It is the rent we pay for living on the planet. Marion Wright Edelman. So we'll start off with Councilman Schumacher.
I just wanted to thank you so much for getting the chance to know you at like Coffee with a Cop or the Day of Fishing with the kids. You've made it be that you're more of a person in the job more than the job is in the person, and I appreciate that. I think police can be intimidating, but you take the scariness out of it. So I just wanted to say thank you for that, and I appreciate all your years of service and wish you the best. So take home all the memories.
Chief, when you came to town, we needed you. We needed your direction. The town had been shaken. We needed your steady hand. And I thank you for bringing that. You've done a great job. And thank you, Tina.
Well, Chief, you've been an amazing friend to me and Kirk. And the one thing that really stands out with me, with you, is all these last 5 years, you would come to a council meeting and you would recognize all the officers, all of them, for all the outstanding work that they've done in the community. You would have them up here. You would talk about them, get awards. You are a man that brings out the best in all of us. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Wow. I know shortly after you arrived here, Chief, I quickly developed a friendship and a relationship with you and Tina, and it's one of the best relationships I have. It's really nice to be able to say that and have that. It's great that you had your chiefs from the different communities around us to come here and pay homage and say really nice words about you and the fact that we're going to miss you. But I think some of the words that say it best is in the press release that was given out by Jerry Ferguson. And if it's okay with everybody, I just want to read two of the paragraphs that are there. Chief Jarrell has had numerous accomplishments during his time here, such as building collaborative relationships with regional partners and revising the hiring process. He implemented a pre-academy training program to ensure greater success for candidates And let me tell you, that was an awesome program to get our officers through the NARDA program with a little bit of extra added, they had a little, it's not a cheat sheet, but they were able to get through the NARDA program and really succeed. His efforts in this area resulted in an increase of diversity of 62% in just 5 years. He implemented innovative methods of delivering training focused on the areas of law enforcement that exposed the organization to the highest levels of liability, such as use of force and workplace harassment. Chief Jarrell, working with his staff, created several successful community outreach programs, such as Puente de la Comunidad, which is bridging the community. Designed to improve relationships with Latino residents, community information town halls, and the meaningful contact programs where officers are required to get out of their police cars and strike up conversations with the public to get better acquainted with the citizens they serve. These efforts resulted in the town being named the safest city in northern Arizona in 2017 and 2018. You will be sorely missed. Thank you for the many changes and improvements you made to our police department, and more important, the improvements you made to our community and our relationships. Thank you.
Well, Chief, I don't know what you're going to be missed, I'll tell you right now. You're a friend, okay? I don't know if you realize that. But anyway, you were instrumental in getting me involved in here, but I've been around the block a few times, and I know folks. I've been in the military for 20 years. I know leadership. You got it, Chief. You are really going to be missed. And what are you going to do with your dog? I kind of like... Anyway, you and Tina, you've become friends. We've helped each other out, and you are going to be missed. Thank you very much for your service. You too, Tina.
Oh, boy. Chief, this is so poignant for me and the rest of us. I'm looking over your shoulder at Tina. The chief honored me in a way. Of all my 40-plus years of service, I've never been honored. And you reminded me of it when I came in tonight. Sadly, Tina could not be here. And he asked me to pin his badge on him. I refuse to unpin that badge. But I'm excited about the programs that you've created and your department has implemented, and they will live beyond your going back to Michigan. And Tina, I'm a great-grandma 6 times over. I get it. And I'm with you. Tina, you also are going to be missed. If I say any more, I might blubber or repeat what's already been said. But all of you from the department, all of you citizens, know how much better we are here today than we were 5 years ago. Chief, hold your head high and enjoy whatever this adventure ends up to be for you.
I'm not going to reiterate what everyone else has said. Pretty much summarizes things. One of the most important things that I feel is important that we reiterate is the programs that you brought to the community that involved the children, different ethnicities, and different people from all walks of life that, as we've mentioned, will continue on. And it is basically what makes Prescott Valley and the fabric so strong here. And that, I thank you. Mike's all yours.
Well, I appreciate all the kind words, and I probably will be repeating some of the things that you've already said, but I do have some prepared remarks. And before I start, first, without question, I would not have had the life of service that I have enjoyed without the support of my wife, Tina. She has been a pillar throughout my career, and without her encouragement, support, and counsel, I would never have achieved what I have. When I came here 5.5 years ago, she gave up her career so I could continue mine. And while I went to work every day and met people throughout the community, she'd be at home alone with our cat. And although she ultimately made numerous acquaintances and even some lifelong friends, her sacrifices are deeply appreciated. I want to thank the council and the town administration for taking a chance on me in 2013. I'll always be grateful for the opportunity you gave me to make a difference here in Prescott Valley. To the men and women of the police department, I am grateful for the way you embraced my ideas and philosophies, and I couldn't be more proud of the results we have accomplished by working together. When I look back, I see the fruits of our labor. Some of those have been mentioned tonight, and I'm going to just go over a couple more. We completely overhauled our patrol fleet from what it was, if anybody remembers, 5.5 years ago, to a modern patrol fleet. We now have mobile tablets in all the cars, and we're soon going to be acquiring new radios for all employees, and we'll be permanently fixing the issues with our overall communication system that have plagued us for years. We transitioned to new handguns for all sworn officers. We revised the recruiting and hiring process that has resulted in hiring individuals who are among the finest in the country. The changes we made led to a 62% increase in diversity within the agency in 5 years. We increased our training budget from when I got here around $3,000 to over $30,000. We revised the promotional process to make it more objective and fair. We implemented a Citizens Police Academy and a Youth Police Academy. And we expanded our Victims Advocacy Program to ensure every victim has all the information and resources they need. The willingness and effectiveness of all my people have achieved by reaching out to our citizens has been impressive. Albert Pine once said, what we do for ourselves dies with us. What we do for others in the world is immortal. Since 2016, we have held 34 Coffee with a Cop events, and we are currently scheduled through December of this year. This year will be our 4th Puente de la Comunidad, and we just hosted our 3rd annual Latino Town Hall. Our neighborhood watch programs have grown exponentially, and the Meaningful Contacts program has been a rousing success. And for those of you who don't think we should do community outreach, I would offer 2 things for you to consider. First, I believe because of many factors, but especially community engagement, we have been named the safest city in northern Arizona for the last 2 years. Second, we recently hired a new officer who is Latino. He told me he had looked at other area agencies, but he wanted to come here because of the community outreach we do, not just in the Latino community, but throughout the entire town. When I came here in 2013, I asked my employees for one commitment. I said, you don't have to make a difference every day, but you have to try to make a difference every day. And I am humbled that they have fulfilled that promise. But now I want to leave them and you with something else. When you go to work or interact with residents or your loved ones, ask yourself, how do I want to be remembered? In the future, when people reflect upon you as a person or a police officer, do you want them to remember you as an individual who made a difference? Or will they remember you as something else? You have to make that choice. And finally, to the citizens of Prescott Valley, I want to thank you for the support and encouragement that you have provided over these past few years. Even during times of adversity, and heaven knows we have had adversity, you have stood by me and inspired me to keep going. I take the responsibility of this profession very seriously. In fact, I consider it a calling because, simply put, what we do is important. When I came here in November of 2013, I said what this community could expect from me. And I want to go over some of those because I think they're poignant. At that time, I said, I will conduct myself by the high standards this profession demands, and I will expect the same from all those I lead. I will work closely with all stakeholders, such as residents, the business community, the media, other town departments, and local, county, state, and federal agencies in building partnerships and relationships focused on helping Prescott Valley realize its vision and goals. I promised to come to work every day with the goal of making a difference, and I promised I would bring a new commitment to customer service because, after all, that's why we exist. As I look back, I'm proud to say that I have accomplished what I set out to do because of the efforts of everybody in that police department. I am honored to have been your chief of police, and I want to leave you with a quote from an unknown author that I believe sums up the past 5.5 years. In the end, titles fall away and power diminishes. What is left is the person you are. What becomes most important is the way you have treated others along the way. Our greatest achievements and the legacy we live lies in what we give instead of what we take. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a 10-minute break. Enjoy yourself, or go over and have some cookies, some cupcakes, say some goodbyes to the chief, and we'll start back up in roughly 10 minutes.
Let's all celebrate.
Awesome.
Vice Mayor.
Pass.
Councilwoman Mallory.
I am fine, Mayor. Nothing to say.
Councilman Grossman.
I have nothing tonight.
Whoa. Okay, hey, we're not letting no take-backs. Councilman Packard, go ahead.
It's my heart. Marty didn't say anything. Anyway, I have nothing.
Well, normally I don't say anything, but I'd just like to recognize someone in the audience from Senator McSally's office. It's Ms. Ward is with the senator's office, and she is the representative from Northern Arizona. So if you should have any questions or any comments or any concerns, she is a contact person for all citizens here in the Prescott Valley area. So Ms. Ward, please stand one more time. And I'm sure at some point, if you would like to speak with her, she has a card for you and is more than willing to listen and hopefully help out in any way she can. Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to item 9, consent agenda. All matters listed under consent agenda are considered routine by the town council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately for discussion and possible action. Council, you had a chance to review. Is there any item you would like to strike at this time?
No, Mayor, I chose to make a motion to approve the consent agenda by electronic vote.
I'd like to second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Maybe. Oh,
there we go.
Oh, mine went away.
Councilmember Mallory, thank you. Councilmember Schumacher, how do you
Yes.
wish to vote?
Yes. It didn't come up.
It's not working for you? I'll be with you shortly. That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on, item 10, old business. Second reading of ordinance number 862 by title only, approving ZMC 19-001 for Grounds Property, LLC. Clerk, will you go ahead and read the ordinance?
Ordinance number 862, an ordinance of the mayor and the common council of the town of Prescott Valley, a municipal corporation of Arizona, amending the town zoning map ZMC 19-001 to change the zoning classification of an approximate 48-acre property located east of Highway 69 and south of Bradshaw Mountain Road from R1L-70, residential single-family limited zoning, to R2 PAD residential multi-dwelling units planned area development zoning, and providing that this ordinance shall be effective 30 days after its passage and approval according to law.
Thank you, ma'am. Shall this ordinance pass?
Councilmember Schumacher?
Yes.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Item B, second reading of ordinance number 863, by title only, approving ZMC 19-003 for link development. Clerk, please read the ordinance.
Ordinance number 863, an ordinance of the mayor and the common council of the town of Prescott Valley, a municipal corporation of Arizona, amending the town zoning map ZMC 19-003 to change the zoning classification of an approximate 5-acre property located at the southeast corner of Viewpoint Drive and Long Look Drive from RCU-70 residential conditional use permit zoning to RS PAD residential and services planned area development zoning, and providing that this ordinance shall be effective 30 days after its passage and approval according to law.
Thank you, ma'am. Shall this ordinance pass?
Councilmember Schumacher?
Yes.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 11, new business for review, comment, and/or possible action. Item A is consideration of appointing Ann Rowland to the Library Board of Trustees. Welcome, ma'am.
Hi there. Hello. I'm the one that gets to be blessed and introduce Ann Rowland to you and everything, and I just have to tell you a little bit about her here. She came to one of our meetings to see if she wanted to be part of the library board. And we were excited to hear of all of her qualifications that she does have and everything. And one other thing we're very excited about is that she didn't run away from us or anything like that. So she still wants to be part of the board. So we just want to say thank you for interviewing her and offering such a gem and everything to help with the library and the town. So thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Anything you'd like to say, ma'am?
Well, let's go through the process. We want her to be legal. One position on the Library Board of Trustees became open when Shirley Willis resigned effective December 23rd, 2018. Ms. Willis was first appointed to the Library Board of Trustees on September 27, 2018, to fill an existing term with a renewal date of June 30th, 2021. The vacancy was then advertised and 2 applicants were received. Myself and council members Anderson and Grossman conducted the interviews, and we are wholeheartedly recommending the appointment of Ann Rowland to fill the vacancy made by the departure of Shirley Wills, with a term renewal date of June 30th, 2021. Now she can.
Now, ma'am. What would you like to say?
All I have to say is I am really honored and really delighted to have the chance to work with the library and the library board here. This library is one of the most exciting places I've seen in a long time, and I've worked with a lot of libraries. And they reach out to the community, and they bring them together in ways that are so important. And to have a chance to just be a little part of that is really important to me. So thank you all, and again, I'm really happy.
How excellent. Thank you, ma'am.
we're very fortunate because, as was stated, your qualifications were off the chart, so we feel truly blessed.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion then. Motion to appoint Ann Rowland to the Library Board of Trustees with the renewal date of
2021.
2021 by electronic and voice vote.
Can we have a second?
I'll second.
Clerk, will you please call the vote?
Councilmember Schumacher, it's locked up.
Yes.
Okay. Yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you. That's unanimous, Mayor.
It's official.
All right, moving on to item B, consideration of approving the Second Amendment to the Granicus contract, approving the purchase and implementation of Granicus Peak Agenda Management software in the amount of $7,000. Clerk?
Mayor and Council, it's been a while since we've done anything with the Granicus system in the way of additions to it. It's an important part of what we do. We've been using Granicus for the last 10 years now as our basic production, if you will, of these council meetings that we hold. It is through Granicus that we are allowed to do what we do with the voting on the table, with the exception of Councilmember Schumacher for some reason tonight. Anyway, and it also allows us then to video and broadcast all of our meetings, as you're aware. And so what we would like to do at this point now, at 10 years, we've been using a in-house process that I built 16 years ago when I got here. It's worked well for us. It's a little bit time-consuming because I'm having to drag and drop stuff as we go through the agenda process of getting everything approved for the agenda. So what we would like to propose to council, and what I have done, is budgeted for what is called the Peak Agenda Management Module for Granicus, which will allow each of our department heads and their admins to go ahead and put their documents, create those documents directly in Granicus. That way, rather than me moving all of the stuff around for the mayor, or not the mayor, but the town manager, the town attorney, management services director, and myself, having to move all of that stuff around and take turns trying to approve it, we can all take a look at it electronically in the Granicus agenda management system and take the approvals from there, and it will automatically build our agenda for broadcasting as well as for running off hard copies if we need to. So I'm thinking it's a time saver all the way around. I think the department people that have to create their agenda items will be happy to do this because it automates so much of what they do already. So I'm proposing that. It's an inexpensive module. I've prepared 3 training sessions so far for the different folks that will be using it. And I'm asking that council consider approving the purchase of this.
Thank you. Any questions?
I don't have any questions, but I'm so grateful we're doing this because in our packet, one sheet really jumped out at me because the headline for that says, Modernize and Simplify Meeting Minutes Creation. Hurrah.
If there's no comments, I'll make a motion. Motion to authorize the mayor in his absence, the vice mayor, to sign the Second Amendment to the Granicus Service Agreement, authorize the purchase of the Granicus Peak Agenda Management Module by electronic and voice vote.
I'll second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Councilmember Kendall
please.
Schumacher? Yes? Thank you. That's unanimous, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item D, consideration of authorizing the mayor to sign resolution number 2096 approving FDP 19-0.
Yeah, but Mr. Mayor, on item C, we need to take a vote to table that particular item. Richard is going to do some further refinements on item C, but we actually need to vote to table that one.
All right, so can I have a motion?
I'll be glad to make that motion. Motion to remove item C regarding the sale of civic platform software to a future meeting.
And I'll second that.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Yes.
Thank you, Councilmember Schumacher. That makes it unanimous, Mayor.
Thanks, Mayor, Council, for cleaning that one up. And Councilman Schumacher, you must feel left out. Like somebody turned off your machine. I'm prepared to move forward, Mr. Mayor, with your direction.
Yes, sir. Item D is consideration of authorizing the mayor to sign resolution number 2096 approving FDP 19-010 for Link Development, LLC, for a senior living facility and to sign any agreement under Proposition 207.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. You recall you looked at a zoning ordinance last month, and that zoning ordinance passed tonight for the second reading. The property that's considered is located at the intersection of Long Look and the extension of Civic Drive. Property's been vacant since the beginning of the world. And the subject property comprises approximately 5 acres. Proposed on that 5 acres is a little over 100,000 square feet, actually 117,000 square feet to be exact, of assisted living facility, full soup to nuts, from cottages in the future to assisted living, independent living, as well as you lose your mind care. And we discussed at some length last time that that's where Larry's going to be soon. This is the second such new facility in downtown that we've approved over the course of the last several months, and you're aware that there is a similar facility under construction on Windsong as we speak. This matter previously went to the Planning and Zoning Commission as a preliminary development plan. They approved the preliminary development plan, which is their role in this process, and it comes to you with a recommendation from staff in as much as it meets or exceeds all of the town standards regarding professional studies and everything that's necessary to bring it to this point. I would respond to any question, Mayor, you or the council may have at your direction.
Any questions? I don't have any, Mr. Parker. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion. Motion to authorize the mayor in its absence, the vice mayor, to sign resolution number 2096 approving FDP 19-010 and to sign any agreement under Proposition 207 by electronic vote and voicemail.
I'll second.
Okay.
Clerk, we have a motion and a second. Please call the vote.
Councilmember Schumacher?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's unanimous, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Item E, consideration of authorizing the mayor to sign resolution number 2097 approving FDP 19-008 for Grounds Property, LLC, multifamily community.
Thank you, Mayor. You previously read for the second time the ordinance relative to this project. You held a public hearing at the last meeting and took comment regarding that issue. Before you now is a final development plan, which is a second step in a multi-faceted process. The Planning and Zoning Commission reviewed this application. Property is located south of Bradshaw Mountain Road, resides adjacent to Highway 69, and is in front of the Quailwood development that currently exists and is nearing completion. The site development plan shows 212 multi-family development on 48 acres. When I say multiple family, they're comprising duplexes as well as single-family type units that are single-story and available for rent. The zoning category that you approved permits heights up to 35 feet, and in this case, there will be no heights greater than 18 feet. During your last public hearing and consideration of the ordinance, there was considerable discussion regarding traffic analyses and how that takes place. As I mentioned to you, the Planning and Zoning Commission receives documentations from various professionals, including a registered professional engineer. Hearing your comments and concerns and those from the public, I asked, and the developer agreed to bring the traffic engineer before you this evening if you had any specific questions. Tovey White is a registered professional engineer, has been doing work in Prescott Valley as well as throughout the state of Arizona for a long time. I've had the pleasure of working with Tovey as well as her mentor many years ago, and she's available to make remarks regarding the process that she goes through to determine what type of improvements are necessary to support development. In turn, as I mentioned during my remarks, we have professional staff in the town of Prescott Valley that reviews those documents. But ultimately, those improvements will take place and will be owned by the town of Prescott Valley, and we have confidence in the process that results in good, solid engineering recommendations that are reviewed by our town staff. The Planning and Zoning Commission, when they first looked at the zoning map change, approved the preliminary development plan for this project. They pointed out and welcomed the fact that when they received the developer considerable feedback from residents relative to not only traffic concerns, but height of building and densities, they pulled back, went back to the community with yet another neighborhood meeting, and they scrapped the original project and brought this project forward, which lessens density, lessens intensity, and obviously reduces height of these structures. The site plan, as it's been submitted, has been reviewed by both the fire marshal and others regarding secondary access to the highway. It's proposed to be accomplished in 2 phases, and it meets or exceeds the town specifications for this type of development. I would respond to any questions you may have, and Mayor, if you'd like, I know Tovey is available for any questions you may have, or members of the council.
Questions? I don't believe I need to hear from Tovey.
Thank you.
Can we have a motion?
I'll make a motion. Motion to authorize the mayor and his absence the vice mayor to sign resolution number 2097 approving FDP 19-008 and to sign any agreement under Prop 207 by electronic and voice vote.
And I'll second that.
Ma'am, with a motion and a second, can you please call the vote?
Councilmember Schumacher?
Yes.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Last item, F, consideration of authorizing the mayor to sign resolution number 2098, adopting and approving final condominium plat FP 18-001 for Lake Valley Office Condos, LLC.
This condominium project actually is under construction because the use of this property for warehousing and condominiums, or the use, is actually permitted by right by the zoning classification. What's being proposed now is to split it into units that are to be sold and operated as a condominium as part of a horizontal property regime. More information that you need. But this project was first approved in 2007 in front of the Planning and Zoning Commission as a preliminary plat. Then came the Great Recession. So the property owner has not moved forward. Is intending now to move forward, and I'm understanding today received the assured water supply, though it's 1 acre foot for this project. Property is again at the end of Lake Valley. This is an illustration. It looks like a large mini storage facility, and that's what it is. They will endeavor to build this out as vanilla shells. Individuals who purchase them through deed restrictions will be approved for very specific uses. There won't be retail activity here. People won't be living here. Rather, they'll be occupied by businesses, wholesale businesses, storage. And I have one fellow that's very anxious to buy one of these because he wants to store his very expensive RV. We've received no opposition to this, but again, to accent that the use is a permitted use as a matter of right based on the zoning classification. I would respond to any questions you may have, Mayor, or the council members at his direction.
Any questions? No questions? Can we get a motion?
I'll make a motion. Motion to authorize the mayor in his absence the vice mayor to sign resolution number 2098, adopting and approving a final condominium plat, FP 18-001 for Lake Valley Office Condos LLC by electronic and voice vote.
I'd like to second that.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Councilmember Schumacher?
Yes.
Thank you. It's unanimous, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Move on to item 12, comments from the public. Consideration and discussion of general unscheduled comments from the public. Those wishing to address the council need not request permission in advance. Any such remarks shall be addressed to the council as a whole and not to any member thereof. Such remarks shall be limited to 5 minutes unless additional time is granted by the mayor. At the conclusion of the unscheduled comments, individual members of the council may respond to the item addressed at the discretion of the mayor, or they may ask the town manager to review the matter or ask that the matter be placed on a future agenda. With that being said, come on down, ma'am.
Good evening, council, mayor, town staff. I'm Deborah Williams, a proud owner here in Prescott Valley. And I feel privileged to have the last word regarding our chief of police. So thank you for your time. I like to come from what I know. And I do know what I'm going to speak to. I get nervous and emotional, so please forgive me for a moment. I'm now a part of the Prescott Valley Police Department Advisory Board. I sat on the Citizens Academy for the Prescott Valley Police Department. So when I speak of our chief, I speak as a public and not just for myself, but I speak for many others. I personally saw our chief in a leadership role with professionalism, progressivism. I respect his values, his management skills. He raised the bar in this community. That's huge. When I got here 12 years ago, there was some adversity. In the last 6 years, it's been nothing but the very best. On a personal note, my husband passed away 4 years ago. My family begged me to come home. I am here today because it is the safest community I, as a single woman, could be attached to. That's huge. Our chief brought that to us. On a personal level, within this community, he's led his department into this community like no other. I get emotional. Moving forward, it's going to be a tough task to fill those shoes. I will do whatever I can as public involved with this community to bring that forth, because it's vital today. Those men and women have the toughest jobs. You all have a tough job. But meeting the elements they have to meet every day, I give them my heart and my soul. So I just want to say publicly thank you to our chief for all these years, and thank you for listening. Appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? With that being sir, it looks like you were getting ready. No? You can come on down, sir. State your name, please.
Go to the mic because people are watching us.
Okay. I'm worried about our streets. I've talked to this person right here, Larry, about putting a traffic circle on, off of Navajo and Lakeshore. We have a dip in there. Traffic just zoomed by. We have fatalities there. I've also requested repairs on the road made correctly. The ground compacted to 95%, so that every year the roads falter again. Incorrect repair. The way to set out a construction situation like that is to do a preliminary design. You know the cost to put it out for bid. Never go with a low bidder. Yet he goes with a low bidder every time. And we get the results out in the streets. Potholes, repair again, repair again, repair again. We don't have proper drainage nor sidewalks on my side of the town. We have beautiful homes there. We have children, mainly children and families moving in, not only retirements. We need drainage, we need sidewalks. We haven't gotten that. I've been here 7 years now, retired. I don't understand it. I go to the other cities, neighbor, Prescott, they got sidewalks. Go to Chino, they got sidewalks. We don't. Okay? Proper drainage in this area, in this mountains area, is very important. I've had to repair my area. I have a vacant lot there. The drainage goes into the neighboring behind, and we have to repair his. You have to install a drainage system. Very expensive one. He's well aware of the situation. Drive our streets. Look at the dirt and the rocks and the screws because they have not been cleaned. And yet our insurance bill keep going up with broken windshields. Our repair bills on tires and front ends on vehicles are. Now, I know you're new here, but you have to sit down and look and drive around the city and see things. See it as we see it. Money spent wisely. Naming a street after our last mayor, they don't understand the impact of the change of one street, what it cost. People have to change their telephone books, all their reference material. The GPS system has to be changed. It is a dynamo theory when you do something like that. A plaque put out there with his picture and a good response on his name and date of birth, where he was educated, and a write-up of what he accomplished. It's a lot better to remember a person like that. Do things wisely. Listen to our people. Work with us. Okay? I don't want to have to go down the street on Summer in Navajo and see two teenagers pull a mailbox open and see a police officer driving by, and I flash him, and I stop. He continues driving through. Those young guys just run across roads. We have a tunnel over there on Lakeshore in Navajo. A sign should be put up there, no loitering or skateboarding. That is a problem area. We have rats in that area. We have a rat problem, a coyote problem. Okay? We have situations with, we need help. The main thing is drainage and sidewalks and the repair of our streets. So our insurance bills won't continue climbing. Last year, Allstate went up 38%. I dropped them. This year, I dropped the AARP because they went up 24%. And the same story they're telling me is more, they're having more problems with claims here in this city. That takes revenue we can spend here. When we have Pruitts move in, and the fire code is grandfathered in, yet they had to redo all their fire protection system. They cost. I talked to them, what happened? I've got 39 years in heavy industrial construction with Arizona Public Service, Pacific Core of Portland. I've handled big projects. Oliver to Unit 2 and 3, multi-million-dollar projects. And I've always met my schedule under cost and got good contractors on the bid, never low bidders. You run into problems that way. Every time they have to file paperwork because you missed something, it used to cost me $500 just to open the project up again and do a revision. This is what you have to look at. I wish you all luck in the world, and if I can ever help you, I will. But I am not going back to work. I'm retired. Utilities companies keep trying to re-energize me. I don't want to.
Thank you, sir. Can you state your name for the record?
First name, Aquilano. Last name, Olivas.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Anyone else? With that being said, have a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Nobody signaled on their iPad who the first or the second was.
Kendall seconded.
Okay, voting is started.
Ma'am, I'll have to go voice vote.
Okay, how do you wish to vote, Mayor?
Yes.
How do you wish to vote, Councilmember Schumacher?
Yes.
Thank you. That is unanimous.
Thank you, ma'am. Good night, everyone.